Welcome, what's up, everybody? It's Michael Fletcher. Welcome to another edition of the Cerebral Smack Talk live on YouTube and StreamYard.com, alongside my good buddy Anthony Florio. We're awaiting Dee Dee Woodson. I don't know if she's gonna be on the show tonight. If she is, great. If she's not, then we completely understand. Hopefully, we'll see her on Sunday night. Mike Bullock will not be in the house tonight. As everybody knows, today is Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day to all the couples out there. Mike Bullock is with his significant other. That's why myself and Anthony Florio, we're holding down the fort as always. And don't worry, guys, we got a good show for you tonight. Smackdown Live. We got a jam-packed show on that. And then we're going to be previewing NXT Takeover Portland going down this Sunday night. The Rose, well, I don't know if it's still called the Rose Garden, but it might be another name. But it's in Portland, Oregon, exclusively on the WWE Network. And guys, we've been labeling this the greatest fight card in NXT TakeOver history. Trust me, when you hear the card, this is without a doubt the best fight card ever. We'll get into that later on tonight. All right, started off SmackDown Live. We had was a moment of bliss. That's right, Alexa Bliss. Her guest tonight was Carmella, and they got into a little bit of a talk, and it led, actually, believe it or not, to the first fight of the night, which was it was the SmackDown Women's title. That's right. There was rumors about it being possibly at Saudi Arabia. No, it's not. We had it tonight on SmackDown Live. And the winner of the bout in 14 minutes. And still, SmackDown Women's Champion Bayley. And Anthony, I hate to do it. It wasn't pulling the tights and getting the win. But Bayley definitely a miscarriage of justice here tonight. This was a great match. Great match. Great title fight. Downer that it ended like that. But then again, look, Mike Bullock is not here. Oh, wait. Oh. Michael Bullock is not here. So I'm going to be very forthcoming on this one. This is what Bayley needed to successfully defend the title tonight. She needed a hoodwink win. To solidify herself as a heel, sometimes you gotta cheat to win. A la Jesse Ventura, win if you can, lose if you must, but always cheat. This was the perfect outcome you could do in a situation. It makes Carmella sympathetic. You feel horrible for Carmella tonight. For Carmella, she has a right to claim, I deserve another shot. I just got robbed here tonight. No doubt about it. This was straight up 1,000% robbery. Not any other situation, but this was robbery. No doubt. If you're somebody else and we feel Naomi is the top contender, does that mean now she gets a shot? Maybe. Maybe not. Carmella now has a right to say, hey, I deserve another chance. I just got screwed here tonight. For Bayley, she could say, hey, I beat you. You're done. Back of the line you go. But I'm pretty sure WWE management is going to come around and say, wait a minute, Bayley, no. We can't allow that. Yeah, you definitely got a leverage pin, a 1, 2, 3, screw job victory. No, we cannot allow this. This is not going down like that. You got to defend the title one more time. You got to defend the belt again. We'll wait and see what happens. But Anthony Floyo, come on in. I'm giving this about 3 to 3.5 stars. And you could defaultly say that this was the fight of the night because there wasn't that many matches on this card tonight. It was a very heavy storyline driven, but this was a solid match. The fans were definitely in it. And man alive, Bayley successfully defends the title, but shenanigans. Big time shenanigans.
What else is new? But in all seriousness, though, I agree. I'm right there with you, MF. This was the fight of the night. Absolutely. I could give this, I mean, it was the fight of the night on what was, spoiler alert, another meh Smackdown this evening. 3.5 stars, though. I mean, great opener with Bayley stealing the win to retain. I mean, you had a feeling. I mean, but now we had thought that we were not going to get this in Saudi Arabia because of the fact that MF, read a dirt sheet or something about how the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia was very much against the women's match that went down at the last Saudi Arabia show. I don't know why, but he was. But then,
I'll just briefly jump in on it because very much it's a cultural thing.
Right.
In Saudi Arabia, normally women are not allowed to perform. As a matter of fact, there was a lot of things they're very restricted in Saudi Arabia when it comes to their tradition, their customs, and the way that they do things. So for the women to actually wrestle in Saudi Arabia was a huge step, but it wasn't met with enthusiasm as it was here in the United States. We were all going nuts. We were saying, this is great, this is great. Over there,
not so much.
Not so much. It definitely ruffled quite a few feathers over there. But according to WWE and to some news outlets that I know, there is supposed to be another match. And as a matter of fact, this time around, it's a title fight. A title fight is going to happen.
But before that happens, Bayley needs a challenger. It's not cut and dry yet.
Oh no.
We're gonna have Carmella square off with Naomi next week in Phoenix, Arizona at the Talking Stick Resort Arena. And we'll have to find out who gets the Duke there. But I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna make a bold prediction right here and right now. I smell a screwy finish in that one. I think there's going to be a screwy finish, and it's going to end up being a triple threat. That's just my idea.
Oh, now that would be even bigger.
That's just my opinion.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
Yeah, wouldn't that be?
And the thing is,
look what Carmella did. I mean, when you talk about Carmella, the triple threat match, SummerSlam 2018 with Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, that was far and away the best match of her career. And this tonight was right up there with it. I mean, I can make an argument that may have been the best match of Carmella's career. It wasn't great, but it was good, and she and Bayley worked well together. And her offense relies a bit too heavily on kicks, but she continues to add some other interesting wrinkles to her offense that make her a more viable opponent in matches like this. Now, I would not have expected to reasonably enjoy a 14 or so minute match between these two, but this was perfectly acceptable for what it was. Naomi's post-match save should lock in her spot as Bayley's next challenger. We still think someone's going to go down with those two at WrestleMania, but we'll have to wait and see on that. But with this contenders match, that Mela and Naomi are going to have next week in Phoenix. I mean, like I said, I'm old enough to know how this business works. MF is too. And so is Michael Bullock, and so is Didi Woodson, and of course Derek Ferrer. But I know how these things go. I know how this company operates. And what I think is going to happen, like I said, I smell some sort of chicanery, screwy finish. Either that or Mela goes over again and we get Mela and Bayley one more time in Saudi Arabia. But my easy money right now is I'm betting on the screwy finish. I think it's going to be a screwy finish. I think Bayley's going to come out and go after both of them. Referee's going to throw it out, and Bayley thinks, "Oh, I'm off the hook. I'm off the hook." Oh no, you're not, darling. I smell a triple threat. That's just my thought on it. But this was the fight of the night. It was 3.5 stars. And right now, as far as Carmella's best matches goes, this just went into the top 2, right up there with the SummerSlam 2018 triple threat with Becky and Charlotte. So, well done, Mela. That's all I can say. And honestly, MF, I had no hopes going into this match. I thought this was going to be a so-so fight. Look at the talent. Look who we had going at it, for goodness sakes. But they gave them the time, and they ended up over-delivering on a match that I had no hope for. Well done. 3.5 stars fight of the night. MF, I know you wanted to get on with your your response to my little scenario there, but what do you see that happening? I really do.
I think a triple threat would be great. I think a triple threat would be necessary, and it would add a little dynamic to the fight. And without a doubt, I mean, do I think we get a payoff and maybe a crowning of a new champion? Normally, when a triple threat happens, the odds of the champion retaining, very rare they do on a triple threat fight. A lot of times we do see a crowning of a new champion, but do you think lightning will strike twice? Remember, Saudi Arabia had a universal title change the last time we were there.
This is true.
Is it possible that the SmackDown Women's title changes hands and we get a major wrinkle heading in this road to WrestleMania?
Or do we get another title switch altogether?
Yeah.
Do we get perhaps a Universal Championship switch? There have been rumors.
Yeah, there has been a lot of rumors
that possibly Bill Goldberg could dethrone The Fiend as the Universal Champion, setting up a potential dream match for the Universal Championship between Bill Goldberg and Roman Reigns. How about that?
Yep, there is that. But the reason why that is coming out, and we're going to get into this later on,
yes,
because of a certain legend.
Yes, sir.
Kind of, well, spoke his desire of doing it. I know a lot of people are saying, no, don't do this. But is it possible? It's very possible now. We'll get into that in a minute. So, we got a whole, like I said, we had a whole bunch of backstage stuff. Lacey Evans talking about her fight with having about what she did in her first Saudi Arabia thing. Otis preparing for his big date with Mandy Rose. We'll get into that a little bit later on. Then we had Sheamus versus Chad Gable and Apollo Crews in a handicap match. Sheamus wins the match in 3 minutes 25 seconds. I'm not even going to waste my time on that.
Good.
That was a virtual squash.
Good.
So then more footage by more stuff setting up the date. And then we had Hulk Hogan. Yes, highly profile Hulk Hogan via satellite. First they were talking about the Hall of Fame thing. Then they were talking about the Universal title match. Bray Wyatt versus Bill Goldberg. Hogan was talking glowingly about Goldberg, about what he did in his prime and what he did, interrupted by the Firefly Funhouse, and they were poking fun at Hulk Hogan, the air guitar, the whole 9 yards, the ripping of the shirt. So Hogan's like, you know what, you're funny, man, you're cool. All right, I'll give you that. And he's like, but when you're gonna fight with Bill Goldberg, there's no laughing matter. It's gonna get serious. You better watch yourself, brother. He might put you in a place that you might not want to be in. Wyatt's like, don't worry, man. So he's like, don't worry. I got the Fiend with me. You see the wall of a friendship, and Hogan is crossed out. So the thing I'm thinking is, Hogan's been training. Hogan's open desire for one more match. Well, WrestleMania is in Tampa.
Hogan country.
That's Hogan's territory. Hogan is everybody remembers him from being from Venice Beach, California. Yes, he was in his early career.
Yep.
But much later in his life, he's been living in Tampa, Florida.
And Florida altogether.
And Florida.
Because of the VH1 reality show, Hogan Knows Best.
Yes. He's been living in Florida, mainly in Tampa. And, with everything going on, Hogan has this desire to fight one more time. Is WWE going to give him the Fiend? Is it possible?
I don't know.
Bray Wyatt versus Hulk Hogan at WrestleMania?
That'd be interesting.
But the thing is, do we want it? Do we want this fight? Honestly, I would be very concerned for Hogan. I'm really concerned for Hogan.
Yes, because of all those surgeries he's had.
Exactly.
Because then he's had multiple surgeries on his knees, and I think he's had multiple hip surgeries too.
And let's be realistic, guys. He's not a spring chicken.
He's 66 years old.
Yeah. So I'm really worried about Hogan getting in the ring and fighting Bray Wyatt.
I don't think it's going to happen, though. I don't think it's going to happen because of the fact, MF. And here's the thing. I've read some dirt sheets that Hogan does want to have a match at Mania, but I heard he wants to have it against McMahon. I know. Nobody wants to see that.
I kind of have, look, I did not mind 19.
Oh,
that fight was awesome.
4 stars.
That was a 4-star fight.
Sleeper fight. That is the sleeper fight of WrestleMania history.
Yes. I do not want to see that go down again. No.
That dirt sheet's not true.
No, that is a major no. I want Hogan there. Definitely Hogan deserves to be at WrestleMania.
Absolutely.
He deserves to be in there in some capacity. Maybe make him a referee. Maybe have him, whatever. I just don't want him competing, not wrestling. You can do a number of things with Hogan for WrestleMania. That's dangerous. That would be dangerous. And I know the fans would not want that either. But, we'll see. We'll see. So, next thing we had was Sami Zayn and Cesaro. Elias with the Walk with Elias thing going. And I'm going to say this crowd in Canada was pretty hot for this segment. I see you snickering, Florio. Give me a quick thought.
2 words. More cowbell.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
That's what immediately went through my mind.
Oh my God.
I had to do it. But in all seriousness, though. Yeah. There is. I want to go back to the Hogan thing quick.
Sure.
And it's exactly what we had last week. You remember last week, or maybe it was the week before. I don't remember, but you remember when I think it was last week actually with Bill Goldberg. Everybody thought he was going to be, when they heard Goldberg was going to be on the show, they thought he was going to be there. I think a lot of the people felt the same thing about Hogan, but Hogan came off entirely contrived and completely clueless about the current product. And he rambled, he stumbled through his lines and said strong almost as many times as he said brother. And these appearances from Hogan serve little to no purpose unless they lead to the Fiend possibly wiping him out, which I suppose is something, some would welcome if Hogan is cleared for any sort of physicality. But if Hogan is being used at this point, I would prefer it be in the capacity of getting taken out by current talent, because we know he's got a reputation of burying people over the years. And Bray's parodies of Hogan were slightly comical, but like his promo with Goldberg last week, it put the Firefly Funhouse too deep into the pantheon on the scripted show, rather than feeling like its own isolated segment. I continue to feel that there's little overall direction or plan for Wyatt, but also hope that he comes out of Super Showdown in a stronger position than he went in. Now, as far as what we saw here with this comedy segment, the segment was completely outside the scope of what I'm looking for in my wrestling content. Now, it has been well documented in my reviews that in past reviews that I have not really been a fan of the Elias character, whereas MF, embraces him, and that's fine and dandy. But, I've long considered the Zayn stable to be grossly underutilized, bordering on a modern iteration of the Job Squad. And with that being said, it's an example of a segment that worked, as much as I may not have personally liked it. The crowd was fully engaged from start to finish, which is always a good thing. Absolutely relishing the opportunity to completely derail Sami Zayn and ready, willing, and excited to sing and chant along with Elias. They popped big for Braun Strowman's predictable run-in, and all in all served as the star of the segment. I'm very curious as to how this would have come off with a dead crowd, but thankfully for those involved and for WWE, Vancouver was rowdy all night long. So I'll give them that.
Oh yeah, they were.
Yeah, it was almost, well, it's Canada. What did Jerry the King Lawler eloquently say back at SummerSlam 2004 in Toronto?
That's true. It's Bizarro world.
Yup.
It is.
So that's exactly what we had here tonight. And but as from a professional standpoint, Strowman was the star of the segment. But from a personal standpoint, for me, Cesaro and the cowbell, that was the star of the segment. For all of you Saturday Night Live aficionados out there, Christopher Walken and that funny band skit that they did, the infamous "More Cowbell," yeah, and from the legendary hit song by the Blue Oyster Cult, "Don't Fear the Reaper." So that's all I can say on that. So yeah, I mean, was I a fan of the segment, MF? No, I wasn't. I thought it was
Oh yeah,
comedy, can't be comedy, bull funky nonsense.
Yeah, obviously, understandable.
But it was one of those segments where it was so bad it was good, and the fans absolutely ate it up. So
I think the fans are the reason why this segment actually worked.
Yeah,
I think, like you said, if it would have been like Corpus Christi or Green Bay or
Des Moines,
Iowa, a city that wouldn't get involved in that,
Lafayette, Louisiana,
then absolutely the thing would have been an absolute dud. But because of the fact that they put it in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada,
Canuck country,
it popped.
Yeah.
I mean, if there was any place in the world, I would even say it. If this was in London, they probably got it. If it was in any part of Canada, they get it. They're so in tune. Hell, I'll even say this. You put that in Saudi Arabia, that thing's gonna pop. It will work because the fans, one way or another, they love that crap. They get away, and WWE can get away with that. You take that in any other city in the United States, we're probably sitting on our hands. We're probably like, what the hell is this crap? And if you do this in Canada, if you do this in England,
or an IWC territory.
Or IWC territory, they're gonna pop and they're gonna say this is the greatest thing ever. Way to go, guys.
What if they had done it here, right here in Providence? What if we had sat through that tonight?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they would get the same reaction though. I don't think they would get it. Even though I know a lot of people love Elias in Providence, like you heard the last time when Elias performed, and he was over in this arena. He was over at the Dunk.
Was that the Smackdown last year?
Yes, and that was the one where he opened fired on the Patriots. Remember? He poked fun at the Patriots about Roger Goodell calling them the greatest person in the world.
Yes, indeed. And what about when he had the first babyface turn when he hit Corbin with the guitar?
Yes.
Remember that big pop? Ooh,
oh,
that was epic.
I think I remember when he hit him with the guitar. We both did our famous whoa. And then I remember going with an oh my god.
I only wish we had video of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, I mean, but that's what you were. But that's where you were getting at, MF. So
yeah.
Go on.
All right. So next up we had was, well, this was it. The moment had arrived. The date was going to happen, but it didn't happen. What happened was this. Well, okay, predictable. So Otis was on his way. Mandy had already gotten there. And Corey Graves was flipping out on Otis, saying, why are you letting that beautiful thing wait? Why are you making her wait?
Amen.
So,
I said the same thing.
Okay. So, he's about to go in. Next thing you know, an arm is on Mandy's shoulder. She's thinking it's Otis. It's Dolph Ziggler.
Predictable.
So, Ziggler shows up. So, they're sitting down. Otis rolls in with a bouquet of flowers, catches the two of them. Ball game over. Otis basically bolts out, and basically he gets crushed, heartbroken. But now, all right, here's the thing that's coming out of my mind. This has Sonya Deville's fingerprints all over it. There's no doubt in my mind. I think Sonya Deville definitely just cost Otis big time. Because, think about it. Mandy was ready for this date. Ziggler shows up out of nowhere to commit a robbery? How is that even possible? And I'm not gonna give a little heat on Mandy Rose, but I'm gonna give her a little bit of a pass here. She was expecting Otis and got Ziggler. Ziggler definitely is the villain in this. No doubt.
Yep.
But I think Sonya Deville also is a villain here. How on earth does she go out there, and how on earth does that happen without her knowing? There has to be some kind of angle here because I know what's going to happen. Everybody's going to go after Mandy Rose. Everybody's going to annihilate her. The pitchforks and the tiki torches are out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to come after her hardcore for this. But I don't think I think she got caught in a rock and a hard place here. I don't think it was deliberate on her part. It was definitely deliberate on Ziggler. He committed the robbery. He ripped Mandy right under Otis. And I know a lot of people are angry. I hope Mandy can explain herself and we can get clarification. I don't know if Otis is going to give her another chance, though, because of what happened. And quite frankly, I don't know if she even deserves a second chance. But, again, I'm only playing Monday morning quarterback here. Florio, you might have saw it more clearly. I don't know where your thoughts are, but something tells me Sonya Deville put the drop on Ziggler, let her know where they were going to go, and he committed the robbery, and that's why that happened. Just for the fact to get Otis away from her, to keep Fire and Desire as a unit. I'm just wondering, is there something down the line of another bomb? Maybe Sonya turns, takes Ziggler, and maybe that leads to maybe Otis and Mandy finally reuniting and maybe working together. Because something tells me, I know they want to keep Mandy a heel. She's the best thing as a heel. But a lot of people were very interested in this love, in this romance between Mandy and Otis. A lot of people were vested interest. My boys on Discord were not happy with what happened tonight. A lot of fans on Twitter is exploding right now, not happy with what happened. I'm wondering if Mandy is truly with Ziggler, then yikes, if for one. But what if she got set it up? What if Mandy got set it up by Sonya? Because you could add layers to the story if you want to. There's another element here. That's why I'm throwing the Sonya Deville card out. Because I think she's firmly in this. Remember, there was a week that Sonya Deville, Mandy Rose, and Dolph Ziggler were together. Why not? Anthony, just give me a quick thought.
A whole lot of nothing for weeks of build.
Yeah.
I understand wanting to drag it out, but this was touted as a big moment for this angle. And to cut it off at the legs before it ever even got going is beyond disappointing. Even if, at the end of the day, it's just a joke. Otis's earnest portrayal of this character is endearing, even in the worst of situations. And I was, for whatever reason, sort of looking forward to where they went with this tonight. I really was. But that's a bomb that MF just dropped. I didn't even consider Sonya Deville, possibly monkey wrenching this whole thing or kiboshing it by getting Ziggler down there. So maybe something could come out of this. Maybe there could be a big angle. Maybe they could be pushing this until Mania, maybe? Do you think maybe something could happen? Do you think Otis and Mandy's little fairy tale love story could actually come true at Mania? We've seen things like that before on the grandest stage. The Macho Liz reunion and some other things, but I don't know. Now, before we move on, this would have been a perfect commentary moment here. And, me being in the heel role, a la Jesse the Body Ventura or Bobby the Brain Heenan, and MF as, the Gorilla Monsoon and the whole 9 yards. When we see Ziggler, when Ziggler shows up, I do the ha 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 like Jesse, and MF would be like, "Why, you snake," or something like that. And then when Otis saw it, I'd be like, ha ha ha, he got what he deserved, ha ha ha. And MF be like, I don't know how MF would go into gorilla mode or something like that. But all I know is that was just a funny commentary moment. But well, like I said, this was a big moment, and it came off disappointing. And like I said, MF, you dropped the bombshell about possibly Sonya, having her fingerprints on this. That's a good scenario. That's good. I didn't even think about that. But I think someone's going to go down at Mania. I really do.
I mean, I'm reading Twitter right now. Tucker's tweeted, this is about an hour ago, I'm coming for answers. I'm coming for heads. That's my brother. I love him. If you hurt him, there's a price associated. So, I mean, you got that. You got Nia Jax responding. How dare you do that? Do Otis like that? I'm super heated. Mick Foley, no. How could you at Dolph Ziggler? How could you?
Yeah, I saw that.
So, I mean, you want to talk about fans who are hopping mad. Whoa. I mean, and the thing is, like I said, Mandy, it looks like they're giving Mandy a little bit of a pass here, but Ziggler, oh man, you better watch yourself, bro, because it seems like everybody is coming after you. All right. Main event time. It was a tag team fight. What we had was Roman Reigns was going to have a mystery partner. He was going to go up against John Morrison and The Miz, and the mystery partner ended up being none other than the Yes Man, Daniel Bryan. And when it was all said and done, the winners of the bout in 13 minutes and 20 seconds, Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan wins the match. Anthony, you lead off on the main event.
Second best fight of the night. This was a 3-star match. Really good tag team main event, marred a bit by WWE's insistence on lack of attention to detail. King Corbin was barred from the show, and they got around that with the ticket buying trope. Whatever. But nitpick aside, as I just mentioned, this was a strong tag team main event with good work by all four men. Crowd was super into Reigns and Bryan, especially the latter. John Morrison has been an overall net positive since coming to SmackDown, especially in the ring, and Miz seems to be fitting into this reunited tag team role very well. So that's all I can say on this. 3 stars, second best fight of the night. MF, your thoughts?
Yeah, 3 stars, no doubt about it. Solid main event, good show, and we're gonna go into the overall review. I'm gonna give this a 4 out of 10. Look, this was more storyline driven than anything else. We had only 3 fights the whole night. One fight when we didn't even talk about, even though the 2 other matches were really good, but it was a lot of filler. There was no substance, a lot of filler. I think that's the best way to say it. 4 out of 10, Anthony, go.
I'm going to be a little more generous. I'm going to be slightly more generous, MF. I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. That's how I feel. The only reason why is because of the crowd. That was a hot crowd in Vancouver tonight. So take a bow, Vancouver. Well done.
Thank you for saving our butts.
Yeah, that's exactly right. This week's SmackDown was yet another show that simply existed. At no point did the show feel interesting or engaging. And while they did some work in the women's division to set up another title match, and the match was great, the show had so much filler that it was just a struggle to stay focused on it or care. I mean, it was a bit of an odd show, really, with omissions of the New Day and the Usos, all of whom have been integral parts of the show in the last several weeks. Roman and Bryan in the main event, that worked. Quality of the match contributed. The women's title match, it far exceeded my expectations, and I enjoyed the decision to follow up with all 3 women involved after the segment backstage. On the downside, like MF said, it was incredibly angle heavy. Many of them did not work all that well. The Zayn and Elias segment ran long. The Otis and Mandy date was a little more than a bait and switch. Hogan's appearance was largely incoherent, and the Fiend and Bray Wyatt incorporating him in the run-of-the-mill split screen segments. I continue to be disappointed with that, but I'm holding on to the hope that Bray's creativity will allow him to overcome those fallacies. But slight improvement over last week's show, aided tremendously by the hot crowd in Vancouver that remained wholly engaged and interested in the show from start to finish, whether or not WWE deserved that kind of attention. So it's a 5 out of 10 for me. So NXT TakeOver Portland, MF, here we come.
6 fights on the fight card. Like I said, this has to be the best fight card I've ever seen for an NXT TakeOver. Starting it off, Johnny Gargano versus Finn Balor one-on-one. I gotta go Johnny Wrestling. Johnny Wrestling, look, okay. Gargano got destroyed by Finn Balor when Balor turned heel. Nobody saw that coming. But Balor's been really good as a heel. Gargano got back, and now he's going to want revenge. I think he gets it in Portland. I think Gargano wins this match. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah. I'm torn on this one, though. Balor's shocking heel turn came with a Pele kick to the face of Gargano. The two have been on a collision course since, including Gargano getting involved with Balor's attempt to win the NXT championship from Adam Cole on that big show before Christmas time. Now the two will finally score off in one of the most highly anticipated first-time ever matches in all of WWE, with revenge and placement among NXT's elite at stake. Gargano's allure is not really in need of a win in the same way as Balor to feel like a threat in the larger NXT picture. My gut is telling me to go with Balor, honestly, but my heart is telling me to go with Gargano, just for the revenge factor alone. But MF, it doesn't matter who wins because we're going to be the ultimate winners out of it. Think about it.
Agreed.
This has 5-star potential right here. And we've even agreed that this could end up stealing the dang show. But then again, you can make an argument for all 6 matches on this card to steal the dang show.
Yeah.
So that's how great this card is. But this is the one I think will steal the show. I think it has the potential to be the 5er. What has Gargano been doing all these years at takeovers? 5-star classics and just about nothing but 5-star classics. Ciampa, Ricochet, Andrade. Do I even need to go any further than that? Cole. That's it. So I'll go with you and go with the Gargano MF, but I would not be surprised if Balor stole it, though.
All right. And then the next fight that we had was, nothing but a good old street fight. Tegan Knox going one-on-one with Dakota Kai. Anthony, you lead off.
Yeah. After Kai's shocking turn on her former teammate during NXT TakeOver War Games in November, things with Knox were destined to come to a violent end. Knox got a win when they finally faced off in singles action on the January 29th edition of NXT, but things are hardly settled, and now they'll meet with the rules put on hold in a street fight. I got to go with the heel this time around. I got to go with Dakota Kai to win this match, but all I know is street fight with those two Hellcats, the way they've been going at it since November. Another potential show stealer. So I'm going with Dakota Kai. MF, what says you?
Yeah, no, I'm going to go with Dakota Kai as well. I think she's going to win the match. There's really nothing more to add there. The only fights we got left, they're all championship matches.
Oh, yeah.
We're going to start it off with the NXT Tag Team titles. The Undisputed Era, Red Dragon, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly, they're going to go up against the Bruiserweights, the winners of the 2020 Dusty Rhodes Tag Team Classic. It is the Broserweights. It is Pete Dunne and Bro, Matt Riddle. All right. If there's one fight that I am definitely looking forward to, this is the fight. I think this is going to be a great matchup. I think it's going to be a great battle. Unfortunately, I'm going to say it. I don't think the Broserweights are going to win the titles. Something tells me Undisputed Era is going to successfully defend the titles, and they're going to still be the tag team champions. I don't think they're going to drop the belts yet. WrestleMania weekend might be that night. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say it. Winners and still the tag team champions, the Undisputed Era. Anthony, it's yours.
Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne have made quite the formidable team as the Broserweights. The duo advanced to a title shot by winning the Dusty Classic, beating the grizzled young veterans in the finals of the 18 tournament. Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish have dominated the tag ranks in NXT and have combined to hold those titles longer than any other duo in NXT history. Dunne versus Riddle feels like a potentially hot rivalry. So them losing before pairing off to feud with each other could deliver the goods. I think that might be the only way I could see the Undisputed Era winning, but I don't know why, but my gut is telling me to go with the Broserweights to win the belts. I mean, keep this thing going because they're over with the fans, obviously.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think it would make sense to put the titles on the Broserweights. I really do. This is the same thing with the Gargano and Balor match. My gut is telling me to go with the Broserweights to win the titles, but not really my heart, but my mind is telling me to go with Fish and O'Reilly. I'm gonna take a chance on this one, MF. I'm gonna say the Broserweights win the titles, but I would not be surprised if the Undisputed Era retains. And I think the only way that happens is if Dunne turns on Riddle or vice versa.
Yeah. All right. Very well. Next up, the NXT North American title on the line. Will we be basking in the glow of the glory of the limitless Keith Lee? Or is Donovan Dijakovic gonna walk out the new North American champion? Anthony Florio, what says you?
I think we're going to be basking in the glory, MF. I mean, Keith Lee just won the title recently, and having him lose it after just one defense, that would make no sense whatsoever. Although I would have no problem with Dijakovic being the one to dethrone him. But Lee and Dijakovic have a long and storied rivalry that predates their time together in NXT. It's a natural chemistry between two different types of big man with ridiculous athleticism that goes well beyond size. This will almost certainly over-deliver another great match, and for that, we should be grateful. Though with Lee so recently having won the title, there is very little doubt as to who should be walking away with this. So this is my easy call of the night here. Well, one of two. Winner and still NXT North American champion, the limitless Keith Lee. What says you, MF?
I agree. I got Keith Lee successfully defending the title too. I think this is going to be like you said, this could be a sleeper fight of the night. Keith Lee and Donovan Dijakovic has had a really good rivalry lately, but I'm with you. I think Keith Lee's going to win. So nothing more to say. NXT Women's title on the line. The champion Rhea Ripley, the challenger Bianca Belair. This is going to be another great matchup, another great title fight, and I'm going to say it. My prediction is I believe that Rhea is going to win the match. I think Rhea Ripley is going to find a way to get the job done, and I think Rhea Ripley will successfully defend the title, and I think she might be the one, because remember, Charlotte Flair hasn't hinted about who she's going to go after, but the rumor going around is that she might be going after her for WrestleMania. So it might be an NXT women's title fight at WrestleMania. We'll wait and see. And that's my prediction. So I think Rhea Ripley will win. After that, Charlotte will show up and will formally, officially make the challenge at Mania. Anthony, it's yours.
Agreed. Ripley defeating Shayna Baszler on December 18 felt like a massive moment and paid off a lot of faith WWE has placed in Ripley to develop into a true star. Ripley had a bit of an issue with Toni Storm to carry her through Worlds Collide, but Bianca Belair still feels like the big post-Baszler test for Ripley. Belair earned her way to this title match by winning a number one contenders battle royale on January 15 on NXT. She then put on a dominant Royal Rumble performance to position herself as an even bigger threat. Still, this feels largely like a match to hold Ripley over before she turns her focus toward a potential WrestleMania showdown with the Queen, Charlotte Flair. Winner, and this is my other easy call here, winner and still NXT Women's Champion, as the theme song says, "This is my brutality," Rhea Ripley. Main event time, MF. Let's go.
The main event for the NXT title. The champion, Adam Cole. The challenger, Tommaso Ciampa. Anthony Florio, it's yours.
Ciampa wants the NXT title back and has taken every opportunity to try to get one over on Cole and the Undisputed Era. Before signing his contract to face Cole, Ciampa took out the Undisputed Era, including putting Adam Cole through a table. Ciampa never actually lost the NXT championship because he had to relinquish it due to what could have been a very serious and maybe potentially career-threatening neck injury a couple years ago. But Cole claims Goldie has a new daddy. Cole won the title back in June at the NXT TakeOver 25, beating Johnny Gargano, as the Undisputed Era tightened their control of NXT. Ciampa regaining the title here feels like the proper step for his development and to maybe begin readying Undisputed Era for a move to Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown, either before or after WrestleMania. So I'm going to take the big chance here. I'm going to say it, winner and new NXT champion, Tommaso Ciampa. That's been my gut feeling since this match was made. I'm not going to. Since I made that gut feeling, I said to myself I was not going to go against it. But the only way I could see Cole retaining here is if they decide to push Velveteen Dream, because the Velveteen Dream is now back in the fold.
Yes, he is.
So that's my only concern. But other than that, Ciampa winning the belt, I think, seems like the right moment. You know, they wanted to make this first ever Sunday takeover. And I think the best way to send the fans of Portland home happy would be to see Tommaso Ciampa win the NXT championship and regain the title he never actually lost. So Ciampa, new NXT champion. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. MF, what do you say?
Ooh, this is tough. This is tough to call, but you know what? I'm going to go with you, Florio. I'm going to call for the new NXT champion as well. I'm going to call for Tommaso Ciampa to win the belt as well. This is going to be a great matchup, no doubt about it. And we'll wait and see how it plays out. But yeah, this is going to be incredible. All right, so we're done. Thank you, Anthony Florio. Thank you guys for watching. We'll be back on Sunday night, possibly 10 p.m., maybe a little later. Once NXT goes off the air, come back here because we're going to be doing the recap of NXT TakeOver Portland. So, for Anthony Florio, I'm Google MF Michael Fletcher. Like the video, leave a comment at the bottom, share with all your friends on all the social media platforms. Have a wonderful evening. Guys, especially in the Northeast, bundle up and stay warm. It is a freezer out there tonight. So, with that said, have a good night, everybody. So long for now. We'll see you guys on Sunday.